Welcome back to another Extra Time Football video. And we just got our second quarterfinalists. Morocco qualified earlier this morning against Canada. France just got the job done against Paraguay. A Paraguay team that was playing a hell of a defensive game. That low block just wasn't budging. It wasn't nudging for anything. Kylian Mbappe had multiple shots. Orlando Gil, the goalkeeper for Paraguay, hell of a performance, just keeping everything out and keeping his team in this game for as long as he could. Overall, France got the job done. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't the nicest of wins, but it was a win nonetheless. And it did, unfortunately, for Paraguay and for Orlando Gil, it did come through a penalty of all ways. But watching this game again and the highlights, rewatching it all over again, that was really the only way you were going to break this line. This defensive line for Paraguay was just, the low block was too low. There was no way they could have cut through the lines. There was no way they could have executed and put their shots away. The moment they were finally getting shots against Paraguay, they weren't being clinical enough as they should have been. Kylian Mbappe had a one-on-one against Orlando Gil, but unfortunate for him, he did let the defender reach him just in time. Cáceres came back tracking just in time to not let him get his shot off. Looking back at the replay on that one, it wouldn't have been valid anyways just because he did get his hand on it. So he wouldn't, even if he did put that away, it would have more than definitely been called back because it was a handball. But France, they're just showing that, every team can be made to struggle under the right circumstances and against some tough opposition. Paraguay proved to be a tough opponent. Really respectable defensive game. The only thing I don't appreciate from them was the way that they lost. It's not the fact that you conceded one. It's the fact that you didn't try to go for it at the end. There were moments in the 88th, 89th, 90th minute still where Paraguay was still sitting back deep, far back, just waiting for a counter. And when they did get on the counter, it was only 1 and 2 players going on the attack. They weren't high pressing. They weren't pressing in the opposite end. Paraguay just lost without putting their hands in at the end. Yeah, hell of a defensive performance, and gutted for them that the loss came through a penalty of all ways. If it wasn't for the penalty, I truly don't think France scores in 90 minutes. Mbappe has a double shot saved by Gil towards the end of the game where he could have put it away twice, but he comes up with 2 incredible saves. So, I really don't think they were going to be putting that ball in the back of the net in 90 minutes if it wasn't through a penalty. But really disappointed with Paraguay in the form that they lost. I would love to see them put a little bit more of a fight, a little bit more of a struggle. You're already losing. You're eliminated. Who cares if it's 1, 2, or 3-0 at the end? Go for it. Canada, I respected that they were still going for it at the end. Yeah, they lost 3-0, but it was a little bit deceiving. It was a little bit of a deceitful scoreline, as Canada was the better offensive team. They did attack more, and they were still trying more at the end without caring if they conceded a third one, which they ended up doing, unfortunately. But at least they didn't go out with their hands tied behind their back. Cannot say the same for Paraguay, though. They did not look the best at the end of the game. Defensively, in that defensive structure, yeah, they all knew their role. They were all playing a hell of a game in that regard. But when it came time to actually try to make something offensive happen, they just couldn't. They couldn't muster 2 3 passes together to go on the offensive. And you know what? Like I said, I get it. You don't want to lose by a lot, but I'd rather lose by a lot knowing that I'm going for it than to lose by not even putting my hands in. You could tell that at the end, Paraguay was still scared of France killing them on a counter if they did pressure too high up, because the French players are very speedy on top and they can be very clinical under the right circumstances. They weren't clinical today, but again, under the right circumstances, they definitely slot 1 or 2 more away if they're on a breakaway counter right there. So I do see that perspective, but at least don't fall without getting your hands dirty a little bit. But overall, a great showing for Paraguay in the World Cup. They did knock out Germany, which is already a huge accomplishment in its own. Hats off to France and Mbappe for getting that win and another goal to catch up to Messi in the Golden Boot race and tally up his all-time leading record as well. So hats off to France. They are the favorites for a reason. I could definitely see them taking everything. And I'm sorry, Paraguay, but you guys gave it your best defensively. It wasn't meant to be. See if on the next one you guys can make a deeper run. That's going to do it for this one. If you did enjoy the video, I would really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe, as it does mean a lot to the channel. Hopefully I get to catch you again soon on the next one.